3D Pun King Pumpkin Acrylic Nail Art Tutorial by Hotpinkzebrapolish.
Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be showing you another one of my little pun nails, and this one is a Pun King. Ha ha ha. So it's a cute little pumpkin, and actually as far as pumpkins go, this little 3D pumpkin that I did is one of my favorite 3D pumpkins I've ever done, and a big portion of that I can contribute to the painting that I did on it. I love the way it's very gourd-like. It's not so much like a creepy pumpkin or a jack-o'-lantern or anything, but it's very cute and very fall. So you could definitely take that pumpkin and stick it in a design with some leaves and all kinds of other stuff, and it'd be gorgeous. So I hope you guys like this as much as I do, and don't forget to click subscribe to see all my future videos as well.
So to start with, I'm going to create a nice little gradient of a pale orange and a white just for the background. When I'm doing these pun nails, I love to have something kind of fun in the background, like a gradient that's just sort of simple and doesn't really take away from the design, but makes it a little bit more interesting. After I have that done, I'm going to be encasing the nail with a layer of clear acrylic. One quick thing I always like to mention when I do a gradient in the background is that it works out really well if you use wet acrylic. So wetter acrylic than you would normally use. It's a little bit funny to work with if you've never done it before, but it will gradiate way better. So then I'm going to take and I'm filing the nail into shape with my E-file. I started out with a pretty coarse bit to remove any bulk, and then switched to a finer bit that will make the painting go so much smoother because the nail will be smooth itself. So now taking a classic orange for a nice little pumpkin, I'm going to be making my oval pumpkin shape right in the center of the nail. And that's another thing, if your gradient background wasn't perfect, you have a pumpkin to cover up any issues right in the center. So then I'm just going to take and with the tip of my brush sort of carve in those little rivets in the pumpkin shape, just with little lines going through it just like that. Very easy to do with acrylic if you're used to it and you have a nice sharp point on your acrylic brush. So that will definitely help. So now after that, I just added a little 3D stem on my pumpkin, and I'm going to go through with black paint and add my outlines. So I took and I outlined pretty much everything, especially since the background to the nail is kind of an orange color and then the pumpkin itself is orange. If you don't outline it, it will pretty much just kind of disappear in there. So that outline is super important to make sure it is nice and vibrant. Then I took a slightly darker shade of orange and I added little dabs on each section of the pumpkin down at the bottom, and then with some yellow I just took and added little highlights at the top. This is the part that I was saying just made it my favorite pumpkin ever. Just those little bits of orange and yellow painting on there I think really added to it. So now I'm going to be writing Pun King, which is kind of the whole theme of this nail. So I'm going to start with writing the pun above it. So I'm using really nice bold letters for this. Add nice thick black lines. That's going to make it so that this really stands out against the background of the nail and really pops. And then beneath that I'll be writing King. And same thing, really nice bold lines with that black paint. When you're doing that, I am still using a really narrow fine brush, which is going to give me a lot of control with my lines and keep them looking really straight and crisp. But I'm using a little bit more paint on my brush. So a big part of the painting obviously is going to be your brush, and having a good brush makes a huge difference to any painting at all, even if it's a 4x4 foot canvas, a mural, or something small like this. Having brushes that you really enjoy using makes a big difference. So if you're having trouble painting, maybe look at, and it's not even necessarily expensive brushes, I find. Sometimes a cheap brush does you so much good. One of my absolute favorite brushes I bought, and people ask me where I got it. I bought it in Chinatown in San Francisco a long time ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I don't know, a while ago. And it was like $1, and it is my favorite brush. So, you know, it's not necessarily expensive brushes. It's just brushes that work well for you, and that can be different for everybody. So after I have that done, I just filled in the pun with orange and the king with a really nice bright green, and I'm applying a layer of gel top coat or gel sealer in the background, and then clearing that, apply regular matte top coat on top of your 3D pumpkin, and you're all done. I hope you guys are liking this little Halloween pun series. I really enjoyed making it. Please share any recreations with me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!